Good morning, Alamo City Sportscast crew. This is Joe Garcia coming to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. We're waiting for Mike Jimenez to come into the studio because, yes, he's late once again. If Mike ain't late, he ain't on time. What's up, Sam Salinas? Good morning, man. Good to see you. Got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the NBA draft. We're also going to be talking about the draft watch party, where we're going to be hosting that at. Oh, look at who showed up. Mike's just pulled up to the studio. What's up? I started the timer. Got about less than a minute. 37 seconds. All right. Thank you, sir. Your mic is hot. Look at that. You still got 20 seconds left.
Welcome to another
I don't hear anything.
of the Alamo City Sportscast.
You should.
With
Hold
Mike
on.
Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast
There you
live
go.
from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's up, South Texas? This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas. My name's Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. Big show today. It is a Monday. It is a Monday before the NBA draft. We're going to party for that draft, which is Wednesday night. First pick at 7 p.m. Going to get there at 6 p.m. Joe, we have picked a spot for our NBA draft party. The reveal is that it's going to be over at Pete's Place over in Old Town Helotes. We got the good tables, Joe. I've been speaking to management already. We've got the good tables, baby, and I'm excited.
We can be outside by the big screen.
We are now. Pete's Place is both an indoor and outdoor type of thing. Okay, so it's not a fully outdoor bar, but it's a fun place to be in Old Town Helotes. I wanted to check out that place simply because, I mean, the big screens. And I know we had talked about other places. Like last year, I watched the NBA draft. Actually, I watched the lottery over at the Roo Pub, right? So the Roo Pub is kind of a big happening thing. We talked about the Rock. Yeah. Dude, my problem with the Rock, not enough parking, man. And I think that there's going to be way too many people there. There's no way that we're going to be able to congregate as a group.
And that's the thing, the consensus that Rick was saying as well. He was in agreement with you because there's really just one way in, one way out, limited parking, and everybody's going to be sprawled out, by the time you get there. Because it's going to be happening place on draft night.
Right. So I have a video on my screen here of Pete's Place. This is I took this video last Tuesday when I was there. Let me see here.
There it is.
That's a pretty nice place, dude. I did something wrong. Here we go. But anyway, I did something wrong. Here we go. Pete's Place. Here we go. So this is over at Old Town Hello. So the outdoor area is where we're going to be, and get my finger out of the way there. But we have a big screen right there on the outside. That's where the party's going to be. Those tables there in the front belong to the Alamo City Sportscast right there.
Nice.
Again, this is Pete's Place at Old Town Helotes. Pretty inexpensive drinks. They have drink specials every night. Who knows? We might hit them up for a sponsorship, but they seem to be pretty excited about it. In fact, hello, Demon Mike. But they were asking the question, are y'all doing a podcast over there? Do you want to do a live broadcast? And I said, I hadn't even thought about it. But as of right now, we're not. But there's nothing to say that we can't fire up a laptop or two and make something like that happen. But this is Pete's Place, Old Town Helotes. Very nice. So if you know where Flores Country Store is, it's basically about a half mile down from there.
Right next door. And look at that. Sam Salinas says it's a cool, chill place. Are they going to allow teenage sons to come into the
Dude, I don't know,
facility?
man. Every time I'm there, I never see kids, especially at night. Now, I will say one thing about this place. Because a lot of college kids go there and they tend to run out on tabs, every time you make a purchase, it's a new swipe. Okay, you cannot run a tab over there. It's a brand new purchase every single time because, again, people run out on tabs and things like that. And I've seen that at various bars around town, but I'm excited about it. They've got, good-looking bartenders, man. They've got a lot of eye candy out there. Again, this was last Tuesday. Wednesday apparently is one of their slower nights, so they were excited. They were like, oh, you're going to have a party down here? Damn straight we are. I already had about 10 people reach out to me last night saying that they wanted to go. So, again, Pete's Place, Old Town Helotes will be the site for the Alamo City Sportscast NBA Draft Watch Party.
Yeah, and Spernandez will probably be out there with us as well. And our good friend Steph, Chicana Fuerte, she'll be out there as well.
Sean Quintero, who's one of our listeners, is also going to be out there. Alex Noriega, who's also one of the listeners who takes part in our
maybe
live
Brandon
stream.
Medina might be out there.
Yeah, good. I have 4 or 5 friends of mine who are also they watch the podcast, but they don't actually take part in the chat. They're going to be out there, so I'm anticipating 25, 30 people minimum.
Yeah, we'll invite Rudy Campos Jr. as well from Sweep the League. See if he wants to come out
so
hang out with us.
It's going to be a fun time out there, man. Big show today. Again, we're talking about the NBA draft. In fact, the final mock drafts are coming out, Joe. And it's interesting because when it comes to the final mock draft, that is when they're going to basically say, we're going to put it down right now. This is what we believe it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're not going to take away any more. This is the final mock draft. Well, the first final mock draft came out today from CBS Sports. We need to get into that because it changes everything for Spurs fans. 2 names that they say the Spurs are going to take at 4 and 8 on a final mock draft.
Nice.
That we had not even considered. And I wouldn't mind it, to be honest with you. And I know Joe wouldn't mind it at all.
Yeah, look at Mario Cavasso says, save him a seat for the draft party. I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who showed up, as we were celebrating my new job, on Friday at Twin Peaks. It was a good time to be had, A special shout out to Chicana Fuerte and Spernandez for coming out. They brought the kids. It was nice to see everybody there. My good friend Jonas Clark was there. Mario Cavazos went out. We had a good time. We had some drinks. We had a great time talking with one another. And also shout out to my guys from the Countdown City Geekcast.
Nice.
They invited me to an after party, and I went to Pat O'Brien's.
Oh, Pat O'Brien's.
Yeah, on the Riverwalk afterwards.
How many hurricanes you get?
Oh, I don't know, dude. I lost count. My good friend dropped me off, Jonas, and I just walked across the street, went straight in there, went upstairs, and they were having like a private party because they were celebrating their thing that they were doing at the Alamo City Comic-Con and car show.
Yeah.
So I lost track, dude. I went up there. I made friends with the bartender. I was having a good time.
Pete on the Alamo. I mean,
oh yeah, dude. It was a late night. It was a good time, man. I started drinking at 3 o'clock. I don't think the drinking stopped till about maybe 2 or so.
That is fantastic.
Good Friday.
Congratulations for you and all your success when it comes to all that. Again, we were talking more about the show where we're talking about Edwin Diaz, the Major League Baseball pitcher, ejected. Some funky stuff on his hands. We'll get into that. Don't know if anybody watched last night's game between Chicago and Indiana in the WNBA, but that's also known as Caitlin Clark against Angel Reese. Went down to a 1-point game.
Yeah. What does she call herself now? It's not Bayou Barbie now. It's what is it?
I think it's Chi-Town Barbie.
Chi-Town, yeah.
Whenever you go to a golfing event or you watch it on TV, the Masters, PGA Tour, all that stuff, PGA Championship, British Open, you hear, get in the hole! I hate that. But this weekend, as we watched Scottie Scheffler win yet another tournament, a new phrase was thrown out there. And we're going to get into that new phrase because it has taken the world by storm, fair or foul when it comes to it all. The video Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar was shot this past weekend over in Compton, California. And I had a debate on social media, specifically on Twitter, asking the question, is this the greatest hip-hop song since Lose Yourself by Eminem, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
And it started a little bit of a debate on that. We have to get into this a little bit because I think there's a difference between various forms of hip-hop, and I'm not a historian, man. I am not the expert in it. But the vibe that I'm getting from this song, and now you're seeing it in sports right now, if you watched a Major League Baseball game, Not Like Us was somebody's walk up to the either to the mound or to the batter's box.
Yeah.
All weekend long, it's starting to become a thing. So much so that the forecaster in Houston, one of the meteorologists, did his own rendition.
Oh God.
We got to get into that as well.
You know what else we're going to talk about? Ryan Garcia, man.
That's right. Ryan Garcia.
He's all over the place.
He's not a boxer anymore, right? He says he's retired. So he tried his hand at both poker and at stand-up comedy over the weekend.
Oh, man.
I know that he's a poker player, and from what I understand, he's a pretty good one. But comedy is not his thing.
Man, he tried, bro. He tried, but it was funny though. We'll show videos and stuff of it as well. But at that poker tournament, he was there next to Jimmy Butler, man, and Jimmy Butler looked like he wasn't feeling a certain way with Ryan next to him.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler was looking at him like, "Please get away from me. Please get away." It's the 40-year anniversary of a beloved movie. Now, it's not technically today. It was actually over the weekend. But 40 years ago, The Karate Kid came out. Ralph Macchio, Billy Zabka, Pat Morita. The Karate Kid turned 40 years old. Does that make you feel old out there? Does that make you feel old? By the way, we're making that move up to 1,000 subscribers. If you take a look right now, bottom left of the screen, what are we at now? Because last show, Joe, when we did the last show on Friday, I said what? 916 subscribers strong.
Yeah, I think when we started, we were 913 or something.
And what did I say the week before that? 898 strong. Today, 926. We picked up 10 over the weekend, mostly on Friday.
Yeah.
Dude, we're going to get to 1,000 by the end of next month. And in fact, when we were out at Pete's place in Old Town Helotes,
pick up some more.
We're going to be pounding the pavement, shaking hands, kissing babies, do whatever it takes to get out there.
Oh,
and by the way, someone asked the question, can teenagers be in there? I don't think so, because I know they card when you walk in the door. They do have food there, by the way. They do have food. Joe, what'd you do this weekend, man?
Oh, man, just did a lot of honeydews here at the house, man. We cut the grass, as you saw in the morning here. There's a whole bunch of little grass clippings I got to sweep up here because I didn't have time. It got too hot, man. So me and my son were doing that. I was taking care of the wasp problem we got in the backyard by the pool. There's a big wasp nest way up there. It's like 30 feet up there, you know, on the second story.
Yeah.
So I was all trying to get creative. Like, how am I going to get a can that sprays like 15, 20 feet and then get to this wasp nest? So I'm over here. I look like an athlete, by the way, man, because I had to climb up a ladder. My big old ass was up there on the ladder trying to spray the wasp nest, and I'm over here spraying the wasp nest, and then they start coming out, and it's like I tell my son, keep that door open, man, because I'm coming in. You know, I don't want to get stung by the wasp, but man, now we just got to go and knock them down, you know. So I got to get the power washer and find a way to get those wasp nests and get them knocked down and dispose of them.
Dude, wasps are a pain in the ass.
They are. They don't stop stinging you, man. They ain't a honeybee.
Man, I've got a bunch of birds who have set up a nest
outside
my house.
Get rid of them now.
And now I'm like, you've got the little baby, the chirping going on in there.
Birds.
And I actually don't mind it. It's the woodpecker that drilled a hole in the side of my house that pissed me off.
I got one too in the backyard. They go after the red ants that are in the mesquite tree. That's in the neighbor's yard, not in my yard. And that woodpecker comes by like every evening, dude.
Yeah.
See him out there eating those little red ants or whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's weird. They're nuisance, you know, because they can go in. They make a lot of damage in your home or on the property. Yeah.
Now, I do have a meeting that I'm taking after this show. So after the show, we end around, 11:30 or so?
Yeah.
I'm going to make my way over to a particular high school and have conversations because I was asked over the weekend to be a high school football announcer. Can you hear me over the PA, Joe?
I can barely hear you.
You know, 13 yards on the run for Joe Garcia. He's got 44 yards on the day. Do you need to have that fake voice? Or can I just be myself?
You're going to have, was it that Bill Parcell? What's his name?
Yeah.
The guy that used to do the announcing from way back when.
Dude, I'm going to be like Jimmy the Greek out there talking gambling. What's the over-under on this high school game?
What was the guy that they were trying to go ahead and imitate? Is it an Better Off Dead? Cosell?
I am Howard Cosell. Sith Elias coming out saying, that's badass. You have the voice for it, Mike. Again, you can take part on our stream here. You know what, Joe? What we didn't do, and I was thinking about this, Joe, and I saw someone do something similar online. We have things to give away, right? We have the Wemby card and all that stuff. Maybe we have a contest. How about this as a contest, Joe? We haven't talked about this.
Sure.
If somebody can identify who the Spurs are going to get at 4 and 8, if they can pinpoint those players or who the Spurs are going to get at number 4, entered into a drawing, and they can get the Victor Wembanyama Rookie of the Year card.
So this is the way we're going to work this because we want to get our sponsors involved, right? The sponsors that we have, we want to give them some love and get some, traffic going to their respective social media outlets, right? So why don't we go ahead and do this with we'll do it with MCS General Contracting.
Okay.
We can actually start a post, right? Have it, or put up by MCS General Contracting, and it's going to be like, pick your fighter, call your shot.
Yeah.
Call your shot, and then we'll go ahead and retweet that. And if the listeners guess it right, we can get the ones that guess it right and put them in a drawing, because it's probably only going to be a couple, right? And we'll do this, the wheel of fate, and then just put their name in that drawing and then just let it spin and randomly pick that winner.
Now, Neva Barr is asking the question, how many shots do we have? Kind of like those March Madness brackets where you want to have like 30 different types in there.
No.
You know what? Let's give it a two.
Two shots.
Two shots. Because again, Two Shots Podcast was your old one. You got 2 shots, baby. You got 2 shots to make it. I'm excited about today, dude. I'm going to figure out if I'm going to be a high school football announcer. That's going to be interesting.
Sid says you got the voice for it.
Yeah.
Man.
And again, thank you so much. 926 subscribers. I mean, we are flattered by all of this because, Joe, you told me this in January because we started this last year right around this time.
Yeah.
And because of personal things going on in my life, we had to shut it down after about a month. And we resurrected it at the beginning of the year. And one of the things you told me was, Joe, this is going to work, but the one thing that we need to be is consistent.
Yep.
Consistent. Be there day in and day out. Be consistent, because you know that you and I have a good show. Yeah. I have said this before, Joe. This is the best sports talk show in all of San Antonio. It is. And that's not me patting myself on the back. I know we have the best show. But it's about consistency, which is why last week, when you had to take the day off because you had your job
interview.
I was doing this in my kitchen, with John Dyer.
Shout out to Dyer.
Which, by the way, happened to be the highest viewed show of the week last week.
Yeah, because you're all talking NBA draft.
Yeah, we had a lot to get into.
Yeah.
And it's about the consistency of doing this show and the good content, being proactive, because there's no other show out there that can take the chat and have that be part of the show. In fact, most radio shows would say that you should get away from that. But I think it's a good way to navigate through, to kind of incorporate it. Not to be the show, not to drive the show, but have it enhance the show. Be the garnish, be the salsa to what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically what we do, man. And we're having a good time out here. 926. We're going to get to 1,000 pretty quick. And I think when we get to 1,000, Joe, we pound the pavement, man. We pound the pavement for sponsors and make this something bigger than what it is right now. But we can't do it without Sith Elias and Sam Salinas and Alonzo A.
Midtown
Texas with a super chat. Buck99 says, thank you for being on time sometimes. Dude. Okay, so I called you at 9:35 and I said, I'm starving. I'm starving. I got to stop at McDonald's on the way over here. Now, when I said consistent, I also meant consistently late, right?
You're not late. You're not on
I've
time.
I've been better the last 3 weeks, dude. I've been better the last 3 weeks. So.
It's an ongoing joke who said if Mike's not late, he's not on time.
I opened up the door to your studio here, and I looked up, and there was 43 seconds. I was like, dude, you weren't joking, man.
Yeah, I started on time, brother. We got to be on time because we have to get them used to the new start time.
Yeah.
We would start at 10:15, but now we've been going on at 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very, very nice. So Joe Garcia is producing the show. My name is Mike Jimenez. We're going to go for about another hour and 15 or so. Here's the thing, man. NBA draft is Wednesday night, 7 p.m. We're going to have that party beginning at 6 p.m. over at Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes. I cannot wait for it. It's a great place if you haven't been there. I'm excited for it. And we're going to be able to congregate together. That was the most important thing, because truth be told, I'd rather be at Spurs Club. I'd rather be at the Rock outside, right? But the problem is that there's no way to congregate. It's like a first come, first serve. It's like general admission at a concert.
Yeah, you just sprawled out. They have the lawn out there,
right?
You know, so
but there's, dude. I bet you
it's gonna
be a cluster F out there. So we had to find a place, and I know Pete's Place is in Helotes, which is kind of not centralized, but it's cheap drinks. It's a very good atmosphere.
They got me a Lone Star Light. As soon as they got that, man, I'm there.
Dude, I went to Pete's Place the other day to go ask them about this, if we could have this place. I had 2 free Coronas. Because Corona was out there giving away beer, not here selling beer.
The Corona girls.
Corona girls were out there getting the beer balls.
Oh yeah.
And then they gave me one of the bottle as well. And
That's
I was like, dude, I had 2 free beers just by hanging out over here.
You know what's funny too? Every time we've gotten together, like we get together with Rick and Steph and some of our other friends, and we have a drink somewhere. Like the last time I think we're at the Friendly Spot.
Yeah.
We always get free drinks because they have these promoters that come around. Can we offer you all a drink? I'm like, heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool, man. How we just happen to walk into that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Let's get into the draft right now because, again, it's in basically 48 hours or so. It's going to be Wednesday night here. And the thing about it is that all of these different outlets, right? ESPN, Bleacher Report, USA Today, they're all going to come out with their final mock draft, right? And when they do the final mock draft, that's the one that they're saying, this is what we truly think is going to happen. I personally believe that a lot of what they do is for clicks, right?
Yeah.
Say that Reed Shephard is going to go number 1 overall, but then go number 5. And all of a sudden, everybody agrees that Reed Shephard is going number 1. But when you stamp the final mock draft on it, this is you putting your reputation on the line. You're saying that based on my analysis, based on my sources, this is what I think is going to happen. So CBS Sports, Adam Finkelstein, came out with this morning. CBS Sports final mock draft has number 1, Joe, Zachary Reed-Shephard, Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta keeping the pick.
Oh.
Number 2, Washington Wizards keeping the pick, taking center Alex Sarr. And then they said all hell breaks loose at 3. Their belief, according to CBS Sports, sources telling them that the Houston Rockets are going to trade down and that the teams that are looking at moving up include the Memphis Grizzlies, also the Chicago Bulls. But they believe that the Grizzlies are going to move up at number 3 and take center Donovan Clingan out of Connecticut, which means the Spurs are there with 2 options here. And according to CBS Sports, the Spurs have as their 3 favorite players, Reed Shephard, Stephon Castle, and Reed Shephard out of Kentucky. Reed Shephard off the board, Castle and Shephard on the board still. And CBS Sports says that if that trade happens, if the Rockets trade down, because the Rockets are linked to who? Reed Shephard.
Yeah.
Every single mock draft says that if the Rockets are picking at number 3, that Reed Shephard's their guy.
Yeah, they want the Spurs guy.
At number 4, the Spurs would then take Reed Shephard, 6'3" guard out of Kentucky. And that scares me and excites me at the same time, Joe. Reed Shephard averaged 13 points per game last year off the bench for Kentucky, but shot 52% from 3, averaged 4.5 assists, 4 rebounds, started some as well, and he averaged 2.5 steals.
But the biggest question, can he get the ball to Wemby?
Can he get the ball to Wemby? Dude, a 44.5-inch running.
That's not 23 inches.
Like Saloon with a max vertical of 24 inches. Well, the max vertical that Saloon had was 32 when you run.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So this one, a running max vertical of 44.5 inches, which was the highest at the combine.
Guy's
if
flying.
This guy was 6'6", he'd be the number 1 overall pick by far, but he's 6'3".
But he's got hops, man.
He's got hops. You can dunk it over the backboard for crying out loud.
Reed Shephard, he has a 23-inch vertical.
25.
25. Okay, 25.
Yeah.
But he has small hands.
You're right.
You know? And what was his running vertical? Like 30?
32.
I'm like, God, man.
So the running vertical for this guy is 44. The standing vertical, I believe, was 37.
Yeah, like, wow.
Dude, he jumps out of the gym. He is 6'3", but he plays like he's 6'6", 6'7". He likes to get steals. Reed Shephard excites me, dude. He does excite me.
What about Castle?
But it scares me. It scares me because his size.
Same thing. Yeah.
Dude, Chuck McIntyre.
Okay.
At Maximum Sports, Fox 29, used to always say you can't teach height.
Can't teach height, but you know what? Stephon Castle is also intriguing as well.
Would be on the board.
But he's not a big guy, you know?
Well, he is. He's 6'6.5".
He's 6'6", but I'm talking about like
girth-wise.
Girth-wise.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He still needs to work on that a little bit, but I mean, I would not be opposed to having either Castle or Shephard.
But look at this, though. The way that it would unfold, according to CBS Sports' final mock draft, Number 5, Matas Buzelis, who, by the way, is going to be at the Rock again doing a last-minute workout with the Spurs if he hasn't done it already.
A lot of Spurs fans like Matas Buzelis.
Dude, his height goes all over the place. Some places say 6'8", some places 6'10". He's right around there, small forward. He's very athletic.
Wouldn't he be an upgrade over what we have already?
We really don't have a 3.
That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't he be an upgrade?
At number 6, according to CBS Sports, again, they have Reed Shephard going number 1 to Atlanta, Sarr going number 2 to Washington, Klingon going 3 to Memphis, that Houston would trade down, not take Reed Shephard, and because Reed Shephard's still on the board, Spurs would take him at 4. Matas Buzelis at 5. At number 6, Stephon Castle going to the Charlotte Hornets. At number 7, Cody Williams, the brother of J-Dub of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Cody Williams of Colorado going number 7. And at number 8, another player we have not even talked about, Dalton Connect, who played 4 years at Tennessee, 6'6", also a small forward, averaged 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 40% from 3. So look at that, Joe. If it's Reed Shephard and Dalton Connect, that would be the Spurs way of saying we're going for shooters.
We're all in.
We're all in for shooters.
Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to getting some bucket getters, but you know what's funny to me when you look at Dalton Connects, right? Scouting report. Yeah. What is his comparison? Pro comparison?
What's
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart. Okay. And it's kind of hard to say who these guys are. By the way, the rest of the mock draft that they have there, CBS Sports' final mock draft, they have Tijani Saloon from France going number 9 to Memphis. Devin Carter, the point guard from Providence, going to the Jazz at number 10. The Bulls getting Jared McCain, point guard from Duke at 11. Nikola Topic going to the Oklahoma City Thunder at 12. That's their type of pick right there. You know, he has bad ACLs, but just one of those things where you look at him and you go, hey, value pick. He's a top 5 guy typically. So Dalton Connect out of Tennessee, Reed Shephard. First of all, it's all about the shooting at that point.
It is, man.
But that's what's going to be so exciting about the draft and why you should come out to the party on Wednesday night is because we don't know what's going to happen. Dude, there's a chance the Spurs have no picks this year. Wouldn't that be funny? Going to the draft party, then hearing with the number 1 overall pick, the Atlanta or maybe they only have one. The Atlanta Hawks have traded the number 1 pick for the 4 and the 8. What if we get Trae Young on Wednesday? What if we bring back DeJounte Murray on Wednesday?
Wouldn't that instantly make the team better?
What if we pull a trade? Yeah. And again, the reason why a trade is very possible is because there's only 15 spots on the roster. Had this conversation with my dad over the weekend, and I've mentioned this on the show before. You only have 15 spots on the roster.
That's it.
Even if they are sent to Austin to go marinate,
okay, I'll have them on the roster.
I'll give you an example. Sidy Cissoko,
who
did very well for the Spurs in Austin last year, will probably be with the Spurs this year in San Antonio.
Yeah.
He did not count. Why didn't he not count? He was a second-round pick, right? Second-round pick does not count. So you can send him back and forth from San Antonio to Austin, does not count as the 15. But if you are a first-round pick, even if they were to send Blake Wesley or Malachi Branham
to the G League,
he still counts as part of the 15 because first-round draft picks are part of the varsity roster, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's what Spurs fans don't understand. They're like, well, just send him to the G League. And like you said, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work the way they think, But at the end of the day, when the Spurs, if they went ahead and they keep their draft picks, they keep all 3 of them, you got to make room. You got to let somebody go.
Let's see some of these comments that are coming in on our YouTube stream. Again, we like to read our best ones out here. Again, if you just joining us right now, CBS Sports released its final mock draft. It says that Houston would trade out of the number 3 spot to Memphis. Donovan Klingon would go number 3 instead of Reed Shephard, who every mock draft has Reed Shephard going number 3 to the Rockets, right? But if the Rockets aren't there, it says the Spurs are going to have that choice there between Reed Shephard and Stephon Castle, the sharpshooter who's 6'3", or the defensive genius who's 6'6", and that they would go for the shooter at that point.
Look at this, Nevaeh Bar saying, you were so down on Sohan. What do you think about Castle with his point percentage?
No, I understand that. And that's a very, very good point. So I'm not going to basically you're saying I'm a hypocrite, right? Slightly. I'll admit it.
What is it? What does Pledger call you? Flip flopper.
Flip flopper. The thing about it is this. Here's the big difference between the two, is that he has handles, and he can run the break, and he can actually bring the ball up. And because of that, if you look at Stephon Castle's shooting form, there's nothing wrong with it. There's maybe a little thing that needs to be adjusted a little bit. It's not a broken shot with Jeremy Sohan. They're having to rebuild him from ground zero like he's a 7th grader. I mean, he shoots a free throw one-handed, for crying out loud. Okay, his shot was so broken that they had to like implode it and then rebuild him from scratch. You don't have to do that with a Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle is probably going to be a decent 3-point shooter here in the NBA. Decent. I didn't say great. Decent. He reminds me of Tyrese Maxey. That's why I like him so much. He reminds me of that type of player who could potentially, if the offense starts clicking, get to a level of a Tyrese Maxey potentially. Okay. Now I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying that the tools are there. And I also know that a lockdown guy defensively is big, especially at 6'6", 6'6.5". Look at all the good point guards out there. You know, from Steph Curry to Jamal Murray to Luka Doncic to all these guys. You need somebody who's going to lock down a point guard. Who the heck on the Spurs is going to stop Kyrie Irving? You need somebody. Sohan can't guard all 5 players at one time, right?
He can't.
So that being said, that is why I like Castle so much. But if Reed Shephard's there, I've said this so many times over the past couple of months. If that dude was 2 inches taller, he'd be the number 1 overall pick.
You take him if he's there at 4, dude. You got to.
52% from 3. 52% from 3.
The Spurs are going to take the best available player at the 4th position. You have to go ahead and take him if he's there on the board at number 4. Brian Wright, come on, man. It's a no-brainer, dude.
I don't know if it's a no-brainer, but I would understand it.
I mean,
and I would be so excited about it all. By the Reed Shephard, according to the Ringer, is their number 4 overall guy. Their number 4 overall prospect, right?
Yeah.
Again, he is 6'3", is 20 years old, 182 pounds.
52.1% from the 3.
Right. And this is the full scouting report basically goes like this. According to the Ringer, by the way, this is Kevin O'Connor's analysis updated this past weekend. Says, quote, a menacing defender and a spark plug scorer who plays bigger than his body, combination player of Steve Nash and Derek White. Steve Nash offensively, Derek White defensively. And it says the pluses. He might be small, but he makes a massive defensive impact with incredible instincts and quick hands.
And he led the SEC in steals. 2.5 per game, man.
Mentally strong, mistakes never get him down. He has the next play mentality. Excellent shooter with a quick high release and deep range.
You know what I liked out of that whole scouting report?
Yeah.
Shooting touch that extends to anywhere on the floor. What do the Spurs need in this roster? Scores, bucket getters. Get him.
They asked the question, can he become a lead point guard? It says, quote, his ball handling skill needs to be mastered, but he has the necessary baseline handling ball skills with a speedy left to right crossover and a bag of hesitation moves. He has poise, he has vision, and he's good on the pick and roll. The minuses, the concerns, his height. Stellar defender, but would have to play point guard at that point if you're 6'3".
And does that make him a defensive liability?
And then the other thing is, he sucks under ball pressure. You double team him, he makes bad decisions sometimes.
Yeah, but so do a lot of the other more seasoned players as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these players in the NBA that are good. They're good offensively, but they're just not great on defense. And nowadays, and in today's NBA, you don't have to be a great defender. You just have to be able to lock somebody down or be able to play defense in spurts.
Well, let me ask you this. Reed Shephard versus Rob Dillingham. So people are asking the question here. Bainstein says Devin Carter is my boy in this draft. We have a Midtown saying we need a double team buster from deep. Okay, so here's the thing. If the Spurs get Reed Shephard, they have no reason to get Rob Dillingham.
No.
Dilly's
gone.
Is gone. They have the exact same makeup. Reed Shephard's 3 inches taller. He's also a better shooter, right? But Dillingham is a better driver, better ball handler. Although that would be fascinating, though, if they got both, right? If they got Kentucky's backcourt, right? The Spurs have a history of drafting Kentucky guys. Keldon Johnson, right? The Spurs have a history of doing that. You know that if they went to Kentucky, that they were coached right. You know, there's certain NFL teams that love certain college football teams, like Georgia. They like Stanford. Why? Because they play pro-style offense, pro-style defense.
Oh, God, look at Jason Garcia. He says, who's worse at the free throws, Shaq or Sohan?
It's Shaq. Sohan got it to 75%, baby. 75%. I mean, I can't fault him. The popper shot's working. Okay, so the Spurs were to get Dalton Connect, by the way. Dalton Connect, according to The Ringer, their analysis is Dalton Connect is the 9th best player in this draft. However, here's the thing. He's 23 years old. He will automatically be one of the oldest Spurs on the roster as a rookie because he did all 4 years. I'm getting away from the fact that we should punish people for being 3 years, 4 years. If the Spurs get Devin Carter and he played 3 years at Providence, right? I'd be okay with that, right? It should be okay. It should be experience. Not everybody that you pick needs to be 18. Personal opinion. But Dalton Connect, 6'5.5", 23 years old, 212 pounds, wingspan of almost 7 feet. Kevin O'Connor, his analysis on The Ringer says, reminds him of Contavious Caldwell-Pope, a KCP type of player.
Dalton Connect?
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I mean, KCP can shoot the 3.
He's had a good career.
Yeah.
Says a do-it-all scorer from all areas of the floor who has a tendency to catch fire. Shot 40% from 3. Quote, a dynamic knockdown three-point shooter from deep ranges. He can sprint to the wing and readjust in midair to fire accurately coming off of screens. Talented shooter off the dribble with multiple moves to create. Tennessee relied on him on must-win, must-score situations. He runs the pick and roll well. All of that stuff, right? The negatives, the minuses. Targeted by opponents because he usually is the weakest link on defense. Again, he can't play defense, but he can light it up from 3. He can light it up from all over the court.
Well, Collins can't play defense either.
Yeah.
You know?
So, again, the reason why we're bringing this up again is because, again, the NBA draft is in 2 days, and CBS Sports released its final mock draft saying that at number 3, the Houston Rockets are going to just basically trade down, and it's going to be a ripple effect, butterfly effect on everybody else on the draft. And that's the exciting thing, because if it goes number 1, we all know that Research is going 1. We all know that Sarr is going 2. But it all starts at 3 with the Rockets. If the Rockets keep Reed Shephard, you can probably suggest that the Spurs are going to be there at number 4 for Stephon Castle.
You know, I've seen some of these mock drafts, right? And some of them actually have the Spurs at number 8 taking Saloon from France.
I wouldn't
mind.
The
French connection.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all. Mario Cavazos chiming in right now on our YouTube stream saying that Dalton Connect is a smaller Matt Bonner.
The Red Rocket.
Red Rocket.
He could shoot the ball, though.
We loved us some Red Rocket over here, man. I like that comment there by D'Lo. Reed and Connect can contribute to winning right away. I can see Reed being like Pods from Golden State this year, or even better. They are ready to play. Why are they ready to play? It's because one can shoot. The other one's had 4 years of experience in college. You know, that was their G League, was playing SEC basketball.
Look at Josh Reina one. He said, just started watching. Do we need a reserve for the watch party?
Okay. So reserve through us
at
MJ Acquired Taste or at Two Shots Podcast.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know if you want to be there. I'm going to start taking down names because I got to give them an idea as to how many people are going to show up. They asked me for a minimum, and I'm saying 25. But to be honest with you, because we did we were over at Mad Packer Brewery, last fall for a fantasy football draft.
Yeah,
we had 30 people there.
Yeah, we were filling up that place, man.
And we barely even advertised it. We had just started as a podcast.
Yeah.
It would be badass if we had like 50, 60 people showed up, dude. 50, 60 people show up and we get to congregate together, but reach out to us on Twitter or just drop us a line saying, I will be there, so that we can make sure that we got a seat for you. Because right now we've got the 3 tables in front, but I do have the texts of both the owner and the manager over there.
I got a special thing that I've been hanging on to that I haven't even released yet to show the peeps that we're going to give away.
Yeah.
Anybody would love to have that in their man cave. And if we can get a certain amount of people to go, why not give that away on draft night? It's a nice keepsake to take home.
That'd be badass, dude.
And I have it here. I've just had it just waiting for the right time.
And think about it, dude. If we went out there, everybody who showed up over at Pete's place went out there and just said, follow these guys' podcasts.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. We can get to 1,000 by the end of the day.
Oh, okay? I know no doubt that I can probably get both of us, and everybody there doing their thing. We can get at least 20, 30 more.
Do you know how I won Rock the Mic? One of the reasons why I won Rock the Mic when I was over at San Antonio Sports Star back in the day was ESPN San Antonio.
Meeting people.
I went to bars and I did a live tweeting of every bar that I was at, asking for people to vote for me.
Yeah.
I went to a karaoke bar and they're like, I'll vote for you if you sing a song.
Okay.
I'll vote for you if you do this. Dude, I was kissing babies. I was shaking hands. I was doing everything. But that's the thing, Joe. When we get to 1,000, it legitimizes us as a podcast network. It legitimizes us as what we're doing on this show.
Only the top 10% of YouTubers ever make it to 1,000.
Think about that. We got to create an OnlyFans.
Oh God!
Just playing.
Mike on the bearskin rug like a George Costanza with the pose.
Very, very nice, man. But again, the NBA draft is Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Spurs have the number 4 overall pick, the number 8 overall pick. We'll talk more about the draft later on in the show, but we got to get into other topics.
Yeah, and before we do that, let's go ahead and give some love to MCS General Contracting and our boy Chris Leha.
Sounds good.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
MCS General Contracting, that diamond hard concrete,
diamond hard, baby.
Diamond hard. Here's the thing, man. If you can show my screen.
Sure.
Before we get into WNBA talk, your thoughts, Joe, on Angel Reese's outfit as she entered the arena yesterday?
She's looking good, man. She's looking fly, dude.
Dude, absolute nugget, dude. And by the way, that day that Angel Reese out there, by the way, certified nugget. We're going to certify it. We're going to stamp her as a nugget
certified.
Nugget certified, right? She went out there and had the best game of her career last night. Last night, Angel Reese with 25 points. She had 16 rebounds as Chicago beat Indiana by 1 point. Indiana, of course, has Caitlin Clark. What are your thoughts on this? Because Caitlin Clark is finally getting it going. She's finally, I guess they're not following her as hard anymore. She's had some really big games out here. But Angel Reese, this is the reason why Caitlin Clark is so popular. Caitlin Clark is popular because she has an enemy. She has somebody that is a rival. That's why you look at Kelsey Plum, as great as she is, and Asia Wilson, as great as they are, they don't have rivals. They don't have anybody to say, man, I have beef with this other player, and therefore you got to watch this game. As great as Asia Wilson is, she's going to be the MVP this year. The Aces might win their third in a row. No one cares. And I love them. No one cares. You know why no one cares? They have no rivals.
Yeah, man. But Kelsey Plum's a nugget, though.
Oh, Kelsey Plum, certified nugget. We stamped that one weeks ago. But when you see Indiana lose to Chicago, right? It was such a great game yesterday, by the way. It was a 1-point victory by Chicago. Indiana tried getting that one play down the stretch to win the game. Missed layup. Chicago got the rebound. Chicago wins 88-87. Caitlin Clark's team had beaten Angel Reese's team twice earlier this year. Angel Reese finally got one. But now the big question, Joe, is who's Rookie of the Year? And what do you trust?
You see, that's a good rivalry, though. But even going back, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, they've had that college rivalry. And it's just people have watched them go at each other. And now that they've made that transition to the WNBA, there's that history, man. And that's what makes these storylines so good. And both players are really good. I mean, Angel Reese is no slouch. She had, was it the most double games, I believe, as a rookie?
She has 8 in a Angel Reese has 8 in a row now.
Yeah. So, I mean, Angel Reese is getting attention right now as well. It seems like both these players are starting to catch a little bit of fire. They're becoming a little bit more confident.
They're getting in their groove.
Yeah.
The game has slowed down a bit for them. But for the season, Caitlin Clark, 18 games played, started all 18 games, averaging 34 minutes played. I mean, she's doing okay. Her three-point shooting has gone up to 35%. So she's not a bad player. She's going out there averaging 16 points per game.
It's amazing what happens when you're not getting slammed on the ground.
16 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. That is her stat line for the season so far. But Angel Reese, again, 8 double-doubles in a row. Here's her stat line now. Okay, we saw Caitlin Clark, right? 16 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds.
Yeah.
Angel Reese for the season, 13.2 points per game, 11 rebounds. She's in the top 5 in the NBA in rebounds. Also averages 1.7 steals, one of the top 10 in steals in the WNBA. Dude, if they take Rookie of the Year away from Caitlin Clark and give it to Angel Reese,
all
like hell is going to break.
I love
loose.
it. I would love that, dude. You know how that would go ahead and just shake up the WNBA world. But you know what? I bet you anything, the players of the WNBA would be like, I like it.
I like it. Well, look at the last 5 games for Angel Reese, right? Last 5 games. And by the way, her team, the Chicago, has won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Look at the stat line for Angel Reese. Tell me this is good. Coming into her own. 20 points, 10 rebounds. That a good game?
It's a hell of a game.
10 points, 14 rebounds. 11 and 13. Last 2 games that they've won their games, right? 16 points, 18 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. How about this one? Last game, 25 points, 16 rebounds. The last 2 games in which they have won, she's averaged 20 points and 17 rebounds. I'm telling you, the Rookie of the Year contest is a lot closer than what people want to admit.
But what's going to actually go ahead and put that over the hump? Doesn't record have something to play into it as well?
Well, both teams are kind of similar when it comes to it all. They're not that good.
I get that they're both not great, but at the end of the day, doesn't the team that has the better record affect the voting, don't you think?
I agree. And it's so funny because you look at the shooting style, you see them play.
Oh yeah, different, dude.
Angel Reese can't shoot for anything.
She makes her life in the paint.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Is that they're like, well, she doesn't shoot threes. Well, that's not her game.
You don't have to.
I mean, she is out there playing Draymond Green style basketball.
Yeah,
she gets rebounds, she gets putbacks, she gets assists, she gets steals, and
she's scrappy, dude.
She's scrappy,
yeah.
Dude. And it's so funny. You asked about their records, by the way. The Indiana Fever right now, 7-11 on the year. That's Caitlin Clark's team. Chicago Sky is 6-9. They take the top 8 teams into the playoffs. As of right now, Chicago Sky, Angel Reese's team, would make the last playoff team. Indiana Fever are 2 games behind right now when it comes to it all, but there's still about 20 some odd games to go.
Yeah, I mean they still have some games to catch up there. Oh, thanks, Tex-Mex Frank. I love this little notification that we get.
Okay, so what's his question?
He says, "Hola muchachos, curious where Marisa Trejo beauty contest from El Paso is on the nugget scale. Remember, Mike, she is probably someone's abuela."
Oh, wait. There's a beauty contestant from El Paso named Marisa Trejo?
Marisa Trejo.
Okay, let me see if I can find this. I can't find anything. I'm going to look this up. We'll look this up during the commercial break. But ain't nothing wrong with those who are abuelas, right? Dude, I went out with a girl one time. She was 32 years old. This was years ago. And I asked her if she had any kids. She goes, "Yeah, I have a couple of kids and a grandchild."
Yeah.
And she was 31. I was doing the math. I was kind of like Brian Windhorst. I was like this.
Oh,
trying to calculate what's going on.
Damn, look at that. Sam Salinas says that she's about 71 years old or something. She won a beauty contest.
Really? That reminds.
We got to look her up, man.
Okay.
Sam Salinas is like, hold on, Joe. Wemby won Rookie of the Year over Chet. But here's the disparity with that. Wemby was just so good, and then when he went up one-on-one against Chet, he made Chet call him daddy.
When they went, dude, that block that happened.
He snatched his soul, bro.
Dude, that was the end of it.
He took that ball away from him mid-stride, dude, and just went down the other side of the court.
And it was so great of a block. And also it was to win the game, for crying out loud. It wasn't just like some block in the middle of the first quarter.
Spurs are down 20.
This was a game this was like a very important shot, and Wemby just completely stuffed Chet. And at
Wemby
that
took
point,
over that game in the fourth.
And that was when everything fell into place for Wemby. And Wemby started playing like a top 15 player in the NBA. By the way, I saw the I want to say it was NBA.com's top players for the year.
Yeah.
Who they believe are the best players poised for the year 2024-2025 season. They have Wemby ranked as the 10th best player in the NBA.
All right, I can buy that. But, it's really up to Wemby to come into his second season. If he really wants to make a name for himself in this league of, hey, I'm going to be higher than 10.
Mm-hmm.
Come right out the gate hot, man. Show him what you got right out of the gate.
I mean, 10's a fair number.
Yeah, it's a fair number. I think it can be better.
Because the players that were ahead of him were like, Jokic, were Luka. You had players in front of him that were like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
But if the players,
Joel Embiid, Giannis, yeah.
The players behind Wemby though included like Kawhi Leonard.
Oh,
they had Kawhi Leonard like at 12.
Well, he only plays part-time, man. Come on. He shouldn't even be there.
But it's a great thing, dude. It's a great thing. They also had a conversation about this.
I like this comment.
What's that? Chet got violated by Wemby. That's great. Let's get some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs at Ken's 5. We can give him some love.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
I subscribe on Spotify and YouTube, and you should too. Today, he just posted, by the way, his latest Locked On Spurs podcast with Jack Thompson from San Antonio Sports Star. Jack Thompson, there's nobody who watches more college basketball that I know than this guy. They're going to be discussing what happens if the Spurs get Cody Williams, which I would not be against. It's in the family blood, baby. His brother, Jalen Williams, star for the Oklahoma City Thunder. What happens if the Spurs get Cody Williams? Jack Thompson with Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Jeff also on his Twitter account has a video of Zachary Reed-Sarchet. He has touched down here in the United States. It's going to be a top 5 player, probably the number 1 player overall. On top of that, earlier this yesterday, posted video of Victor Wembanyama making an appearance at the Vogue World event over there in Paris. Got one of the what's it called? Here he comes in the white
this
suit.
Is Fashion Week.
Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner's who I was thinking about right there. Is right there on the right. And then you see Wemby come in. Dude, if they had that suit at Men's Warehouse, what do you think the size would be?
Jeez, bro. Can you imagine? And you know how thin that suit is going to be? Like how slender?
Yeah.
I mean,
looks good though, man.
What's his length?
and this is why I like the international players, especially the ones from France or from big major cities. They work well in San Antonio because when they come to San Antonio, it is simply a business trip for them to come out here and do their thing. When you have an American player, they want to be where? New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles,
all the big markets,
maybe Houston, maybe Dallas,
LA,
right?
you know,
That's where they want to be.
Yeah.
San Francisco, Golden State, right? They want to be there. International players don't mind San Antonio. That's why Tony was so good here, because he didn't have to be impressed by LA because he's from frickin' Paris.
Yeah.
You know, Manu didn't have to be impressed because he's from Argentina, Buenos Aires, and all of that area. You know, Tim Duncan didn't care. He wasn't from the United States mainland.
Yeah.
He was from the Virgin Islands. There's something about international players and small markets. Jokic thrives where? In Denver. Giannis thrives where? Milwaukee.
You know, I think it's the thing with them is that they're not being hounded by the media consistently. And if you were in a big market and you drew that name that they draw, you know, that paparazzi, man, they'd be bombarding you with photos. You couldn't even step out of your house with your wife, your kids, go anywhere without them being there. And it's kind of like a little bubble when you're in that small market.
Exactly. And over here, they can celebrate during the off season.
Oh yeah, dude.
They can have the limelight. They can do all the fashion shows and all of that stuff. Victor Wembanyama at the Vogue fashion event over there in Paris.
And Perry.
Looking like the stud that he is.
You're looking good, man. I'm surprised he's not on a date, dude. I'm sure he's seen somebody, but I'm sure he likes his privacy. Can you imagine when Spurs fans finally find out if he is courting somebody? You know?
Yeah.
They're going to be like all giddy over it, you know?
Let's show my screen real fast.
We're showing it right
now.
The
PGA event over the weekend. So remember, get in the hole. Every time you go to any PGA event, I was at the Valero Texas Open a couple of months ago, and there's some idiot who will scream, get in the hole. Although there was one hole in one.
You missed.
I was within earshot.
On a call.
Look what people are chanting now at golf tournaments now. Let me see if I can call up the audio here.
You have to go and make sure that it look. No, you got to click on the right there, where you have that. I'll go over there and do it.
It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But okay, so anyway, people are going off and they're striking the ball, and instead of screaming, "Get in the hole," all week long it was Haktua.
You know what we need to do, man? If this is still a thing by the time, you know, the Spurs preseason games are starting,
yeah,
we should make some shirts that say that.
Interesting.
You know, that say Haktua or something, some funny phrase, you know, that we can wear.
Why don't we have a Demon Mike t-shirt?
Yeah, we can.
By the way, the Haktua girl, I saw this one video and I retweeted it or reposted it on TikTok. It was someone putting the Haktua and changing the lyrics to the song Hallelujah.
Oh God. Did you see the one that I sent you to over the weekend?
Which one?
I said you're gonna be singing it in the karaoke. It was somebody did a Haktua, the country one.
Yes, I did see that one. The guy who was singing the Hallelujah song was
I saw that. I think that was like a TikTok video they've been sharing all over the place. Yeah,
that was great. But for them to be out there screaming out there Haktua, which was fantastic, dude.
I wonder how long that's going to be a thing, man. You know?
Yeah.
Is it going to be one of these things that's always going to be said now in sports?
I don't think it's going to go away.
This girl has been everywhere, man. This Haktua girl. Did you even see they were making like AI generated superheroes? And it was the hawk. It was like a hawk, you know, like a Hawkman or something, or a hawk girl.
Yeah.
And it says Haktua. I'm like, God,
it's a Haktua summer, baby. No, guess who else is everywhere besides the Haktua girl?
Oh God,
Ryan Garcia is everywhere. The boxer is now trying his hand at stand-up comedy. Was at the Laugh Factory there in California, forgot his jokes, and decided to shadow box instead.
Does that surprise you though?
You know, he is everywhere right now. The guy has issues. I made the comment on Twitter the other day that if I was doing a celebrity death pool right now, he'd be my first round draft pick, dude. That guy is up to no good. Now, again, you may have remembered last week, he was suspended from the from boxing for 1 year, retroactive to the Haney fight.
Yeah,
that fight does not exist anymore. They took the win away. They took the loss away for Haney, and they fined him $1 million. And then also over the weekend, Ryan Garcia was playing poker with Jimmy Buckets, with Jimmy Butler and some other celebrities. Now, Ryan Garcia is a legit good poker player, but he was getting his drink on while playing.
Look at Jimmy Butler's face, bro.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas next week, and I would so party with Ryan Garcia.
Look at Jimmy ain't having it, man. Party.
Ryan Garcia and I would either be best friends or he'd kick my ass. One of the two.
Look at Jimmy, dude. Jimmy's like, get this guy out of here, man. I'm done. You know what? I think the weird thing is that they don't show you the video that happened prior to all this going on.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia sits down and he's talking with Jimmy Butler and he's like, hi, you know, kind of introducing himself. And he goes, what team do you play for? I know you play in the NBA, but I don't really follow, bro. What I'm asking. I'm really asking you. Seriously asking. He's like, oh, I play for Miami. He's like, oh, okay, that's cool, and this and that. And then they show this later on, and I think that just already pissed Jimmy off. Like, you don't even know who I am, you know?
Okay, now that was not a regular shot of tequila right there, man. That was, and there was no salt on the rim, no tajin, and he didn't even bother with the lime.
He's on something already, man. Look at him, bro.
Dude, I would not want to, dude. Okay, I'd party with him, dude. I'd party with him.
Oh God, you know what? Speaking of partying, man, there's somebody had shown a video. One of our listeners, I think it was Rude Dog, and he put a video up. And there's like these girls, I think they're partying over there in Switzerland or Berlin or something. And there's a table, and they're just doing lines right off the table, bro. I'm like, what is this? And they put the hashtag Saca la bolsita, man. I'm like, Ryan, I think for one, Ryan's on stuff. You know, it makes his personality just go off the rails. But adding the alcohol to the whole equation, I mean, look at he's animated, man.
Yeah, he is something, dude. He is something. By the way, that video was courtesy of World Poker Tour, by the way.
Jeez, man.
We're going to see, we'll talk a little bit of hip hop, right?
Sith, he topped his spaghetti with Coke instead of Parm cheese. You know, just get the little baggie out. What's in that? Don't worry about it.
This is what I wanted to show. Kendrick Lamar was on the streets of Compton over the weekend, and he was shooting a music video for Not Like Us, which is a diss track that he had about Drake. And it's an epic diss track. It's right now the #1 song on the Billboard charts. It's #1 in 10 different countries. It is going worldwide. If you were watching baseball over the weekend, all you saw was people going up to bat to this song. All over TikTok, wedding videos, birthday parties, wedding receptions, all of these nightclubs, all showing people dancing to Not Like Us. Again, it's a diss track, right? Over 500 million listens already on Spotify. 500 million. And it's only been out for about 4 weeks. I brought up the question, Joe, because Spernandez was on Friday. And Spernandez brought up the fact that Kendrick Lamar united all of Los Angeles with this performance. Now, I had seen the performance snippet of 3 or 4 minutes of when Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan were on the video, the stage with him. Yeah. He performed in Inglewood, California, which is basically Compton. And I had not seen the full 20-minute video. And over the weekend, I was mesmerized by it. I watched the 20-minute video probably 6 or 7 times. And there is a growing thing with this song that I haven't seen. And I'm an old man, dude. I'm 47 years old. And I'm not a historian when it comes to hip-hop music. And I'm not going to pretend to. I like some of it, not the greatest, right? But I remember when Lose Yourself came out by Eminem 20 some odd years ago, and how you couldn't escape that song, that it was at every birthday party. It was at every music. It was at every outlet for, sporting event. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a song like this take off in that way. And I know people reached out. I know Sith Elias was reaching out to me on Twitter yesterday going, well, what about like Old Town Road? Well, that's a gimmick song. You know, and if you were to do like Hotline Bling by Drake, that's more of a pop song, right? Like old school hip hop, old school rap song. This is probably, to me, the biggest rap song since Lose Yourself.
Look at JHNSB saying Lamar, he's saying is bringing the West Coast together again.
Okay, so in that 20-minute video that you see on YouTube, and I highly recommend that you see it. It had over 1 million views, like 1.5 million views as of like 2 days ago. He had gang members from all over Los Angeles there. On stage, taking a photo, dude. Taking a photo with him.
He's uniting the peeps, man.
Dude, it was powerful, dude. It was absolutely powerful. It's a 20-minute video, and it has 2 million views now. So 500,000 views since last night. Joe, what are your thoughts on the song, man? Have you heard it at all?
I haven't heard it, but we can't play it because then we'll get in trouble here.
Oh, I'm not going to play the song.
Yeah.
I just want to play the background video if that's cool.
I haven't heard the song quite yet, man, but I'm going to have to listen to it after you guys are telling me, man.
It's a great diss track. So back in the day, you had Tupac and Biggie doing the diss tracks and whatnot. And this is considered to be the best one since. Now look who does the introduction. The beginning of the song is Kendrick Lamar saying, I see dead people, kind of like from The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Well, if you see the video, which is brought to you by Amazon, by the way, look who he brings onto the stage to do that part.
So Dr. Dre?
The person who discovered him, Dr. Dre. And here's the best part that I like about all this, about what Dre does here. He kneels in and goes, I see dead people. Like, psst, I see dead people, right? Which is the beginning of the song.
Damn, Dre, he's sweating, bro.
But look what he does. Look what Dre does. What does he do? He doesn't do a Puff Daddy, a P. Diddy, and dance all around the singer. He gets off the stage to let Kendrick Lamar do his thing. Kendrick Lamar, this was the end of the show, sang Not Like Us 5 times. And the first time that he sang it, let me look at the phones, dude. There's just something about the vibe. That right there is South Central LA. He didn't do this at the Crypto. He didn't do this at a nice place. This is the old school Forum, dude.
He's hanging with the Hampton,
where
man.
the Lakers used to play back in the 80s, the Showtime Lakers, right?
Yeah, he's hanging with the people, man.
This was so great, dude. And just lyrically, basically the song is a couple of things, right? And first of all, he's talking about Drake and the allegations that Drake is a groomer. He calls him a pedophile. And the other thing about it is that he goes after Drake by saying, Drake, you're not like us because you go to Atlanta to go get music, to make music when you're not really down with us.
Yeah.
Right? That you're there just to make a buck. You're not there to actually be part of the community, if you will. But towards the end of the concert, it's going to go to commercial here. He brings out all these gangbangers out there. And he says, look, this is the Juneteenth celebration there about a week ago. And he gets all these different members of different gangs to come together to take a photo. So when Hernandez said he united the city, he very much did. There was video over the weekend of Billie Eilish, who's a friend of Drake, making fun of Drake about this song. It is a brutal song, dude. It is eviscerating. It was a mic drop. And he already won the battle. This was the victory lap. Others are saying that July 26th coming out on our YouTube stream saying that James Harden was there too. James Harden was there, so was LeBron James. But here's the thing. LeBron and Harden didn't get up there. You know why? Because they ain't from there. They're not from there. Then we saw and it was so cool whenever you see here come the athletes coming in. Oh, there he is, Russell Westbrook. What is this Russell Westbrook move that he's doing here?
No, I don't know, man. He's just freestyling. He's just having fun, man.
And former Spur DeMar DeRozan right there.
Oh, DeMar's from Compton.
That's true, baby. That's true. This was so great, man. Not Like Us is number 1 on Billboard charts yet again. It was one of the first songs ever to go number 1, despite the fact that it only had a few days of release. It wasn't like out for a full week.
Yeah.
It was number 1, despite the fact that it was only out for half a week. Great song, dude.
Great song, man. But you know what, man, as we start, we're starting to get near the end of the show. But one of the things that I do want to go ahead and say is we've been busy behind the scenes, because everybody's like, hey, where can we buy your merch? Where can we do these things? I have heard that, and I'm working on some things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have this be a little bit interactive. I've worked on some things you all haven't even tried yet. Mm-hmm. There's some stuff that you can type in the chat, some key phrases, and things will happen, and that's one of the things that I've been working on, trying to fine tune. But the merch is going to be happening tomorrow, probably. I've already worked on all the logistics on connecting everything, getting everything to work right.
Nice.
But what's going to happen is we're going to be able to show a quick little like photo on screen when it pops up, and it shows the merch that's available in the store. And if you type a phrase in there, and I believe you type in merch or something like that in the chat, immediately it's going to go ahead and give you a link, a hyperlink. You click on it and you're able to go to the store and you can buy the shirts right then and there. So it's no more, oh, let's go ahead and click on the QR code. I have heard what you guys wanted, and I'm going to deliver for you. And we're going to have some fun with the chat. We're going to be able to go ahead and do like some interactive stuff with the chat, maybe play some games for fun and give out prizes as we're doing the live stream. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do some things that's kind of groundbreaking, man.
That's badass. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting the merch myself as well. We can go to my screen real fast. Edwin Diaz was accused of having a little bit of Haktua on his glove there yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. The Mets closer was kicked out of the game before he even threw a first pitch. I do appreciate the Haktua reference, but here he is. They were checking out his glove before he even went out there to pitch in the 9th inning. And they're checking his glove, and they said a banned sticky substance. He got thrown out of the game. People are joking that it was sweet and sour sauce from McDonald's.
Jeez, bro.
Dude, baseball is all about cheating, dude. That is all about cheating. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Look at my glove. It's courtesy of ESPN, by the way, on Twitter. He hadn't even thrown a pitch yet. They got thrown out of the game.
Damn.
This is so great. This is so great. Edwin Diaz, if he wore pinstripes, had the violent conviction on his record. Has to go wash his hands. But anyway,
you know who I like hearing like talk about stuff like this?
Yeah.
Pitt. Pitt always has something funny and interesting to say when it comes to this kind of stuff, and he's smooth with it, man. Pitt is such a funny guy, dude.
It is the 40-year anniversary over the weekend was anyway, the 40-year anniversary of the movie The Karate Kid. Joe, you know I didn't watch a lot of movies growing up.
Was this one?
But this is one of the ones that was in constant rotation at the Jimenez household. Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, The Karate Kid, Billy Zabka, which has now transformed itself into a hit Netflix show for several seasons, Cobra Kai. Now, several things about this movie that I researched about it that I found to be funny. Sylvester Stallone hates this movie because he says it's a ripoff of Rocky.
Oh, everything to him is a ripoff of Rocky, man.
Well, the producers even say that they were looking for a Rocky-like movie. Okay, first of all, you had the Italian Stallion. Danny LaRusso is what? Daniel LaRusso is Italian. You had Rocky Balboa with his old school mentor, right? The trainer,
Mick.
And then you got Pat Morita, the old school guy as well, right?
Yeah, man, but they didn't have Ralph Macchio chasing chickens or nothing, man. Come on. He was doing the wax on, the wax off.
He was catching flies, baby.
With the chopsticks. Remember when he had him in the damn boat and all that?
Yeah, trying to balance him out.
Oh, God. Man, Pat Morita had Ralph Macchio doing all sorts of yard work.
Yeah.
Washing the cars. He's getting cheap labor off the kid, man. I like it.
I loved it. The retrospective of it, though, is the fact that Ralph Macchio apparently was hired because he was the wimpiest of all the ones that auditioned. That there were people out there like the Johnny Depps of the world or the Robert Downey Jr.'s of the world who wanted in on this movie, but they were like, no, we need to have a wimp. And Ralph Macchio was on The Outsiders, right? So here's the thing: he goes out there, and he looked frightened of Billy Zabka, who played the leader of the Cobra Kai, the lead teenager of the Cobra Kais. And he goes, and that the guy, Billy Zabka, got the job because he started yelling at the director and producer in character. That he kept doing the character. He was, what is that called again? When you live it,
I'm in character.
You're in character.
I'm in character.
So so he started yelling at them as though he was
Johnny
Lawrence.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's our guy. And that Ralph Macchio looks scared of him. And because Ralph Macchio looks scared of him, that's the whole point of the movie. It's the whole point of the movie. Pat Morita was not wanted because he was known as the silly dude from Happy Days.
Yeah.
It is great.
I've met him, actually, both of them, at one of the conventions here. I met not only the sensei, but I met, Zapka,
Oh,
Johnny,
wow. Yeah.
together. They were together when I met them. They were right next to each other. And we had media credentials. So we went up to them. And of course, I had one of our hot looking friends with us, was helping us get interviews and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it was easy, So we went in there and we asked for them, hey, do you mind if we talk to you guys? Both of these guys were really cool, man. They took pictures with us and everything, talked to us. We got interviews out of them and everything. And this was before they came out in Cobra Kai, years before. Mm-hmm. But both of them great guys, man. They're nothing like the characters that they portray. They're just good people.
I think I would party with Billy Zabka, dude. He seems like
such a great guy, man.
And if you see interviews with him, he just seems so like down to earth and humble.
He's funny though. Like you talk to him.
Did he win an Academy Award for like best short? Like
yeah, I think he did.
Some weird like when Kobe Bryant won one, Yeah. But this movie came out. It was released June 22nd, 1984. Considered a sleeper hit in the sense that it became a hit not because it was marketed. It became a hit because of word of mouth. $8 million budget, made $131 million at the box office. That's a great return, Joe. When you turn 8 to 131, one of the highest grossing movies of 84. Pat Morita was nominated for an Oscar for this movie. Did you know that Miyagi was nominated for an Oscar? Did you know that the person who created this movie had taken karate lessons in the past, and that the guy that he had taken karate lessons from in the past was named Miyagi?
Yeah,
that was part of his name. But what a great cast: Ralph Macchio, Billy Zabka, Elizabeth Shue, Allie with an eye.
Oh, come on. We're of a certain age when we're seeing her.
Dude, okay, first of all,
bro.
When Elizabeth Shue comes out in this movie, I am 8 years old, right? And I'm looking down at my pants, and I'm like, why has it gone from 6 to 12?
Man.
Why has it gone from 6 to noon, right? Elizabeth Shue. And then later on, when she plays the hooker on Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. It all came full circle. Elizabeth Shue, thank you for your service.
She even came out in the series The Boys most recently. She's still looking good, man.
She's
at her
still
age,
great.
Dude.
She's still great. Joe Gonzalez saying, is that Rocky money? Not really. I mean, Rocky was nominated for Best Picture. Actually won, if I'm not mistaken. Sith Elias saying Rocky is greater than the Karate Kid. Now, the Karate Kid had the sequels as well. They went to Okinawa.
Yeah.
Karate
Kid 2.
That one actually was pretty good. In fact, I might go off to say that I actually like Karate Kid 2 more than 1.
I saw Karate Kid 2 just about a week or two ago. It came out. Flipping through the channels, and I was like, oh, man, look what's on, So I sat there and watched it. It was pretty good. It's kind of like revisiting Miyagi's past. Like he has to kind of go back.
Yeah.
And he has to kind of face his past again. And face some old friends that he had beef with and all that kind of stuff. Danielson getting into trouble again because
Danielson falling in love with the Asian persuasion.
There you go. Hey, man,
she's
she
still
was
hot,
cute,
and
dude.
she's still hot now.
Still cute. Yeah,
she's 6 years old. Bringing it these days. Here are the actors, according to Wikipedia and also the retrospective that I saw over the weekend, who were auditioned or considered for the part of Danny LaRusso. Joe, look at these names: Sean Penn, Robert Downey Jr., Charlie Sheen, John Cryer, Nicolas Cage, Anthony Edwards, C. Thomas Howell, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise, Eric Stoltz.
No Kevin Bacon.
I'm
kind of disappointed Kevin Bacon wasn't nominated. Didn't get his name thrown in the hat, should I say.
And on top of that, Ralph Macchio, again, was brought in. They liked him because he looked scared of Billy Zabka. And they liked
probably was.
They liked him also because they said he was the wimpiest of the guys that they were considering.
Scrawny.
Now, who was Elizabeth Shue in competition with?
All right, let's find out. Let's find out.
Helen Hunt, big name.
Okay.
Demi Moore auditioned to be Allie.
Could you imagine Demi Moore?
Okay, first of all, that Ralph Macchio, Daniel LaRusso is not bagging Demi Moore. Okay, let's just say that, dude. It's just not going to happen. Now, by the way, the song, what's it called? You're the Best Around.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it goes on to say You're the Best Around for the montage was written for Rocky 3.
Nice.
Rocky 3 didn't take it. Again, Sylvester Stallone says this is basically a Rocky ripoff. You're the Best Around was supposed to be in Rocky 3. Isn't that the one with Clubber Lang? That the one with Mr. T?
Mr. T.
Let's say Ice-T with Mr. T.
That's
I pity the fool.
Yeah, no. My favorite. What is the outcome of this match going to be? Pain.
when he starts talking trash to Balboa's wife.
Oh,
come on, get a real man. Oh my God, Ryan Garcia's trying to be Clubber Lang.
He's Mr. T without the jewelry.
Yeah. What was the better song? By the way, so that was supposed to be part of Rocky 3, but Bananarama's Cruel Summer was also part of it, man, and that's a good song.
How are you gonna beat? Nobody's better than the Eye of the Tiger from the Rocky franchise, dude. That song's iconic.
Do you know what song I like? I like the
Best
Rocky,
Around is up there, dude.
I like the Rocky 4 songs.
Is that the one where he was fighting the Russian?
Yeah, I like it when he's like Drago. That's the one I like, dude. That's the one I like. I ran up the Rocky steps in
New Jersey.
Yes.
Oh no, it was in Jersey, Philadelphia, Philly, the city of brotherly love, man. Where you're gonna get a ticket. If you're driving there, man, they're gonna give you a ticket for something, man.
I'm looking for the video. I can't find it. But either way, happy 40th birthday to the Karate Kid. That's amazing, dude. And, I know that Sith Alliance saying Hearts on Fire is better than Rockets on. That's the song I was thinking about.
Hearts
on Fire, so desire.
I remember that stupid song. And that Rocky 4 is the one where they have, what's his name? His brother-in-law's name?
Yeah.
What's his name? The guy? Where they buy him the
Paulie.
robot. Paulie. They buy Paulie the robot.
It comes out looking kind of sexy.
He gave it the sexy voice.
Dude, the Trans Am that he had in that movie, by the way. Rocky 4, best line in the movie is the kids are watching the movie. So think about this. This is how bad of a parents Rocky and Adrian were. They allowed their kid to watch this fight. Again, it was on Christmas Day. They allowed him to watch the fight, even though that same boxer killed Apollo in the ring just months before. They're like, oh yeah, if I was the parent, I'd be like, Mijo can't watch this just in case. But instead, he's there with like a party with his friends, and he's like, that's my dad. What do you think we are? We know. What do you think we are? Nerds. Great line. Yeah. Great line. What bad parenting by Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, you look at Joe Gonzalez says, fellas, ESPN did a 30 for 30 for the Karate Kid. I never knew that. Dude.
Yeah, How I Met Your Mother brought it back also because Barney was in love with Johnny Lawrence, saying that he was a true Karate Kid. And apparently the beef had stopped, right? The beef had stopped. Johnny Lawrence was out smoking a joint at the high school dance, and it was reignited because he got sprayed water on by Daniel LaRusso. Daniel LaRusso did deserve to get his ass kicked. And then when you go on to Cobra Kai,
you find out the story behind the whole thing.
Yeah, you find out that Johnny Lawrence had a bad upbringing. He had a very abusive father, and the sensei became his father figure for good or for bad. Then you also have the fact that LaRusso's kid, kind of screwed things up in the first season.
Yeah, but not only that, but you find out that Ralph Macchio, Daniel, stole kind of, Johnny's girl.
Right.
Allie.
Now, Elizabeth Shue, correct me if I'm wrong, was never in the show.
Yeah, she was.
She was.
She made a brief appearance.
I forgot about that.
She made a brief appearance. It was kind of her and Johnny kind of rekindled.
Oh, that's right.
Going through the whole thing.
And LaRusso, who's married, was kind of jealous and felt bad for being jealous because he's happily married.
Yeah.
That was right. I forgot about that. But I remember the scene at the bar when they go to LaRusso's kid wrecks Johnny's car kind of in a weird way, and they're giving him a car. He's doing a test drive, and they pull into this bar, and they have this conversation about Allie, and they're like, "Well, have you seen her? I haven't seen her in forever. Oh, she's married. She lives whatever. And LaRusso knew everything about her.
Yeah,
and it's because he stalks her on Facebook without being her Facebook friend.
Yeah,
and Lawrence is like, you know a lot about her. That's great though, man, because LaRusso, I mean, it's one of those things where that's his first love.
Yeah.
And he always keeps tabs on her.
But he's married now, man. He in the series, he has all this money now because he owns a big old car lot and whatnot.
So let me give you something that happened to me. This is a tall tale.
Yeah.
So talk about first loves, right? My first love was named Amy. Okay. I had a girlfriend in high school named Amy. We were together for 2 to 3 years, right? And I would see her from time to time, like after college and whatnot. You know, I'd bump into her or whatnot. I went to UTSA for my final year, and I'd see her in the hallways, and
yeah,
she was always very, very nice. Social media comes around. Facebook becomes a thing. We start becoming Facebook friends, but we don't actually interact with each other. I went to a wedding. God, this must have been about 8 or 9 years ago. And I hadn't had a conversation with her in over a decade. Went to a wedding. She's waving at me. And I'm looking over going, who is that hot girl waving at me? And it was her. And my ex was like, who's the hot chick waving at you? And ultimately, I revealed that that was an ex-girlfriend. My ex was actually pretty impressed, going, hey, she's kind of hot.
Yeah.
And long story short, I approached her at the wedding reception, and we had this 20-minute long conversation where we were completing each other's sentences. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, I wonder if that was somebody I should have been with.
Yeah.
You know, because we were completing each other's sentences like nothing had ever changed. It was so crazy. So now you have Daniel LaRusso's character, happily married, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, incredible house, all of this wealth that he had from building these car dealerships after Karate Kid into Cobra Kai. But he still has an 18-year-old heart, his first love of Allie with an eye.
He just seems like he still can't. He couldn't stand to see Johnny walk away with his girl. He lost the bag. He fumbled the bag.
They both fumbled the bag. And you know what? She was better off because of it. Because she would never have had become a doctor, I think is what she became.
Yeah, she became a doctor.
Would never have had that if it wasn't for her getting away from both of those guys. And neither one of them deserved her. But it's funny because a lot of times people will look back at their past loves. And that is the curse of social media, is that you can just type in, you can go Google, and I can type in my ex-girlfriend's name right now on social media, find 500 photos of her.
Yeah,
that's a curse.
But the saying is, you know, like it didn't work out with your past loves or whatever, your old girlfriends or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just remember that one saying that one of my friends' brothers always said. Doesn't matter how hot she is, somebody somewhere is tired of her shit.
No truer words have been said. Again, we're going to have a NBA draft party on Wednesday night. It's going to be at Pete's Place over in Old Town Helotes. If you haven't been there, it is a fantastic place to watch a sporting event. I like watching NFL games there. Don't get me wrong, I have an affinity for the Rue Pub, but the Rue Pub's going to be packed because Sports Star is doing their thing over there. Then we have the Rock, which I guess would have been great if we had a quartered off section.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can have a party over there, dude. I logistically, I don't see how parties are going to happen at the Rock.
You could just have you and one other person, and you just sit down with the masses and just watch it. Watch the show. But it's not a party for like your people. No, you can't get groups. It's going to be hard. And I understand the logistical aspect of things. Trying to get a section quartered off there on the grass or what have you, a prime viewing spot, and you're not going to be able to hold that.
So I have video right now that I'm showing right now of Pete's Place. So if you want to check this out, this is an Old Town Helotes. There's an indoor
I thought that was Angel, the guy with the cap. Kind of looks like our good friend Angel.
Angel will probably be out there.
No, but I thought that guy legit was Angel at first.
Yeah. But you have the screens all around. But if you go on the outside, my finger started covering the screen here of my camera phone. But out there with the big screen, out there where my finger is pointing, if you will, that's where we're going to be. We're going to be in the outdoor area. They have a restaurant kind of attached to it. It's kind of like a kitchen.
Yeah.
So if you want burgers or tacos or whatever the case may be, that can be there. But they've got good drink specials. This was a Tuesday night. Apparently it's happening on Tuesday.
Nice.
Hopefully it's not that crowded on Wednesday. I mean, I wouldn't mind a crowd, but it was hopping, man.
Not that crowded,
But they have good drink specials. And they were like, you want to have a party here on a Wednesday? Have at it.
Are they going to have karaoke on Wednesday?
They have actual stage for real singers. I don't think they do karaoke over there.
I wanted to see if you were going to serenade us.
But look at that. Look at this area right here. Look at this area right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to pause that right there. That's a nice looking area, man. And we have these tables.
Kind of reminds me of the friendly spot.
It kind of does, but the friendly spot has no place indoors for you to kind of cool off.
Yeah, no, it's all outside.
Here you can go in and cool off for a little while if you need to. But basically, this courtyard right here is Alamo City Sportscast area. Hand over fist reaches out and says, what time is the get-together? The get-together is starting at 6 o'clock because the draft starts at 7, right? So the Spurs will probably be picking their first pick. If the Spurs hold on to the number 4 spot, we'll probably pick around 7:30.
Yeah, me and Mike will probably be there around 6 because we got to make sure we get everything set up and whatnot. Get there early, make sure all the logistical stuff is finalized, and we're sure that people will start trickling in around that 6:20 mark, 6:30. We'll start seeing some familiar faces start rolling through.
So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Again, it's going to be Wednesday night. This is in Old Town Helotes. It's called Pete's Place. Basically, if you know where Flores Country Store is, it's across the street, but further down the street by about half a mile or so. It's a good place, dude.
Will Mike be doing keg stands?
If there is a keg to stand on, I would. But better question is, are there 3 enough people strong enough to hold me?
Look at that. Is Mike going to drink more than 2 beers? Probably not, because after 2 beers, you'll be pretty full.
Dude, I will be down in shots, dude. I'll be down in shots. Again,
yeah. Stick to your diet and Jack or something,
Yeah, the draft is going to be Wednesday night at 7. There's a second part of the draft, which is Thursday night, which is the second round, but no party for that one. We're only going to party for the first rounders. Here's the thing, though. We were talking earlier about CBS Sports releasing its final mock draft before the draft on Wednesday. The final mock draft, according to their sources, according to all of those people, they're saying number 1 overall, Zachary Reed-Sarchet going to Atlanta. That Atlanta's going to hold the spot. At number 2, they believe that Alex Sarr, the center from France, who played in Australia, is going to go number 2 to Washington. And they believe at 3, the Rockets are going to create chaos.
Yeah, I was going to share this too. Our good friend of the show, Tim Gonzalez. Yeah. He had been in here a couple of times already.
Ariana.
Yeah, and he was just saying, hey, U.S. won the gold medal, and there's a local there that's part of the women's, team right now, which is Ariana, so we're just going to say congratulations to her, local girl.
Ariana Robertson. I believe from Clark High School, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, local girl, man, bringing home that gold medal. So good on her, bro.
That's amazing. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about the chaos created. The chaos created if the Rockets do drop from number 3, as suggested by CBS Sports, trading with Memphis. The Spurs would be there with the decision to make between Reed Shephard and Stephon Castle. That right now the Spurs are going into the draft thinking that Stephon Castle is probably their guy. But if Reed Shephard's there at 3, 6'3" guard, 2.5 steals per game, but most importantly, shoots 52% from 3, can knock it down from everywhere. The comparison, according to the Ringer, Steve Nash and Derek White reincarnated. Again, may not be the best of all of them. If he's 70% of each, I might take it. But that's an interesting dilemma for the Spurs to have. Reed Shephard has been to the Rocket La Cantera. He has worked out for the Spurs. I wouldn't be against it. Don't get me wrong. My heart is set on Stephon Castle because that was my guy in college.
Yeah.
But the Spurs have an affinity for players from Kentucky. And Joe, if he's the guy, are we going to be celebrating? Are we going to be toasting to Stephon Castle?
I would not be mad with Stephon Castle. I wouldn't mind Reed as well, Reed Shephard, So let's see what the Spurs decide to do.
I'm looking at past picks that the Spurs have had over the years. I'm looking for Kentucky. Keldon Johnson. Spurs took Keldon Johnson in 2019, the 29th pick overall in the first round. Keldon Johnson was actually considered to be a top 15 talent, top 20 talent that year. The Spurs got him at 29. Spurs got Luka Samanic at 17, if I'm not mistaken. But look at the last drafts the Spurs have had. Last year, the Spurs drafted Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year. Spurs drafted Leonard Miller, never heard of him. Sidy Cissoko was taken number 44 by the Spurs, and he'll probably be on the Spurs roster this year. He balled out in Austin. The year prior, Sohan, Branham, and Wesley, all first-rounders, still on the team. The year before that, a waste. Josh Primo, Joe Wieskamp.
Samanic.
2020, though. Spurs got Vassell at 11. Got Trey Jones at 41.
Spurs fumbled the bag quite a few times. If you even look at Lonnie Walker, for example, too, you know, they let him go, went on to have a better career, it seems like, as a role player with some of these other teams. Most notably, was it the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah. It's been a while for the Spurs to get that key player, that key player that isn't Wemby. I mean, I know Wemby. Wemby's a superstar, so that goes along the lines of David Robinson.
Yeah.
And
it's been a while since we've had
Duncan.
another Tony or a Manu in a late
Sean Elliott.
Yeah, Sean Elliott.
That kind of player,
an impactful player,
right?
A good piece, a solid piece.
Spurs have 2 cracks at it, man.
You know what I saw? Somebody had put this. I'm gonna right now too. Check this out. Somebody had shared this, man, on the X. It's been 19 years since the anniversary of the Spurs winning it all in the 2005 finals against the Detroit Pistons, man.
That's pretty badass.
And this was a heated series here. I liked it, all the way to game 7. This was not a disappointment. This was a very competitive series. I did not think the Spurs were going to win until Robert Horry put him over the hump and hit that clutch 3-pointer, man.
Can we talk about what this was? How many years ago?
19 years ago, man.
2005, right?
Yeah, 2005.
First of all, Robert Horry, for his performance in the 2005 finals against the Pistons, deserves to have his jersey retired at the Frostbank Center.
Clutch, man. You know who set up that play for Robert Horry? Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili set it up.
Set it up was Rasheed Wallace not defending Robert Horry. Rasheed Wallace.
Wasn't he screaming, don't let him shoot?
Yeah.
It was him or the coach that was saying, do not let him shoot.
And he shied away from his player, tried to quasi double team.
Yeah.
And Horry's there sticking it. Horry was beyond one shot, and it was beyond one game. Horry took over that series.
Yeah.
And it's amazing when you see that the Spurs have won these 5 titles, 99, 03, 05, 07, and 14. They played in 13. They could have won 8 to 10 of them, right? But if you look at the Spurs, it's amazing to see that as great as Tim Duncan is and as great as Manu and Tony Parker is.
Great shot there.
As great as they are, 2014 doesn't happen without Kawhi.
No, man. Kawhi was an instrumental piece.
Kawhi was the MVP. 2005 does not happen without Robert Horry. And this is the importance of the Spurs getting players to complement the superstars.
No.
The Spurs have a superstar. They need an all-star behind him, and they need a cast of characters out there that can knock down shots. So if CBS Sports, if that happens, and the Spurs have Reed Shephard, and they're like, we're going to go after that sharpshooter. He's the best shooter in the draft.
We can't forget Kerr. Steve Kerr actually played an important part when the Spurs were going up against the Mavericks as well.
Yeah. It's very, very true. And then you look at Sean Elliott with the Memorial Day Miracle, for crying out loud.
That's the best clutch shot, I think, in Spurs history. It's probably second because they're going to put the Avery Johnson baseline jumper, who's shooting it from the side to win the 99 finals,
Yeah, we just want this team to be relevant again. That's just basically it.
This is a days of old. One of the other things that I was going to show here that I thought was hilarious, man, is that you had an MMA fighter, right? Check this out, Mike. He just lost his fight. Then he proposes after.
Oh my God, I saw this.
She
I forgot.
Rejected him in front of everybody. This brother lost twice in one night, dude. Damn. She said,
I know.
Mama only likes winners.
And they gave her the microphone to turn him down. She didn't just say no to him. She said no to the entire arena.
Bro. She's like, nah, we good, man.
Brutal.
Wow. Brutal. Look at his face. He's so... She broke his heart, man. Pour some out for that brother. Man.
Mama doesn't want her to go out with losers.
No,
it is what it is.
She looks like a goth chick, though, man.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Goth chicks.
He's into those goth chicks, dude.
Hey, if you want to be part of the party, you got to let us know, man. I mean, don't be wrong. You can just show up, but if we want to have the right amount of tables around us, reach out to me on Twitter at MJAcquireTaste. Say, hey, I will be there. And if you're bringing a +1, 2, or 3, let me know so we can get the number of tables there. We've already had about 12 people reach out to us so far saying that they're ready to go. I'm going to make a list. We're going to have a fun time out there. Again, the Spurs are picking number 4 and number 8. The draft starts at 7, but we're going to start partying at 6.
Look at D'Lo. Y'all should be doing 3-hour shows. I prefer this over ESPN.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Very, very cool. Hey, we're up to 926 subscribers. The goal is to get to 1,000 as quickly as possible. Dude, when we get to 1,000,
popping bottles.
It legitimizes what we've got going on. By the way, we're now at 928.
Yeah, man.
In the last 2 hours, we picked up some more.
Nice.
As Alonzo says, gots be some freaks is what it is. I got to let everybody go. I've got a meeting to find out whether or not I'm going to be announcing high school football this year. Do I have a high school football announcer's voice?
Yeah, you do, man. I think you do.
You know, so it's a paid gig.
Yeah.
Beer
Maybe
money.
we go out and support you.
Beer money.
Yeah. Hey, man. You don't drink beer, so don't be lying, dude. It's gonna be a fireball.
I drink 2. Fireball also. Can I tailgate at this thing? Can I just show up drunk? No, I
the
can't.
fireball fairy coming in with the bucket of fireball. I got my wares to trade with you guys today.
Very nice, very nice. We did an hour 40 today. Might be our longest show ever.
Jeez, bro.
We can do a 24-hour show.
It just flew by so fast,
dude.
man.
I was listening to the show, and I almost want to have a breakdown with you and with Fernandez about the good and the bad of our shows, because we need to coach ourselves up.
Yeah.
I will say this about our shows: we very rarely have a pregnant pause. We very rarely, because we just rapid fire, baby. We just keep going. Just keep going. We covered like 8 or 9 topics. We're a variety show.
And then I just throw some extra stuff in there.
You know, we're a sports show. We're a pop culture show. We're little Johnny Canales as well. You know what? To end the show, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
You do me a favor?
Yeah.
Grito me out.
Oh, man. You want a grito? I like this part right here.
Everyone have a fantastic Monday. Make it a great week. Be out there with us on Wednesday. I'm at MJ Acquired Taste. RSVP, mother truckers. That's Joe Garcia. He's at 2 Shots Podcast on Twitter. Follow Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5, and give MCS General Contracting a call if you have concrete placement needs. By the way, Joe, more sponsors coming around the corner.
Nice.
We'll talk about it soon. Pete's Place, Wednesday, 7 p.m. We're going to be there by 6. NBA Draft, Spurs at 4 and 8. Be there. RSVP. Have a fantastic Monday.